This is the Morning Swim Show for Tuesday, May 17th, 2011. I'm Jeff Cummings, filling in today for Peter Bush, and in just a few seconds, we'll be joined in the Finis Monitor by Dr. John Meisenheimer, who most people know as Lucky Meisenheimer. He wrote a new fictional book in which a swimmer is the main character. And Lucky Meisenheimer joins us right now in the Finis Monitor from Orlando, Florida. Lucky, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great.
Great. Thanks for joining us on the show. Congratulations on this new book.
Oh, thanks a lot. It's been a lot of fun.
So just want to let viewers know this is your actual second foray into publishing. Your first book, it was kind of like a history of yo-yos, which we'll get to in a minute. But we'll just tell people about this new book. It's called The Immune, and it's set in the not-so-distant future in which there's kind of like a genetical mutation that has kind of taken over society and is kind of killing humans. So go a little bit more in depth in that, if you could.
Well, the overall view of it is that it's a sci-fi light adventure novel with some political intrigue. And without getting too involved and giving a lot of stuff away with the story, it's about these genetically created creatures that are starting to run amok throughout the world, and how the government goes about dealing with the problem. And it turns out that there are certain individuals which just happen to be swimmers. One of the qualities are the only way to combat these creatures, and it all kind of melds together into this story which has lots of twists and turns and like I said, a lot of political intrigue, and it relates a little bit today to the politics of the day.
Where did you get the idea for something like this?
Well, you know, it was interesting. I was down in the Cayman Islands. I just finished doing the Flowers open water swim, and I was sitting there with a swimming buddy, and I was talking to him about the concept of a giant, what we refer to in the book as an air war. An air war, which is basically a giant man of war, which is about the size of a blimp, but instead of floating on the water surface, because of the genetic modifications, it hydrolyzed water to hydrogen and oxygen, and therefore had hydrogen in the sac rather than carbon monoxide, and therefore could float on the land, taking people as it, or other animals at its will. And so anyway, having been stung by several man-of-wars over the years in open water swims, it just kind of developed from that.
So it seems like you're kind of exercising all of your demons after being terrorized in the open water.
There was a lot of personal experience involved in the book, I will say that.
So what was it like to kind of really write a book in which a swimmer is the main character, which is something we don't see a lot of?
Well, again, being a competitive swimmer now, and I don't know how many decades it has been, I've raced all my life, it seems like, and it's always bugged me that there's never been really a cool novel out there where the protagonist is a swimmer. And I think about how hard we train, how hard we work, and I think, man, we really need to have a novel that portrays a swimmer as a hero. And so we were able to, I was able to, I think, do that fairly well. And the team that surrounds this character all have to be swimmers too, as a person that reads the book would find out why that has to be.
Now, last Friday you had a party to launch the book, and it wasn't just a party to say that I've published this book, but it was also to raise some money for swimmers in Orlando. Tell us about that.
Well, I've been on the board of the YMCA Aquatic Center for about 18, 19 years now, and currently am the chairman of the board of directors. And as all swimming facilities, they have their financial problems, and we're very good about raising funds for kids that need swimming lessons that can't afford them. And I coach the Orange County Special Olympics swim team, and we've got about 60 athletes on the team, so that's actually a pretty huge team for a Special Olympian team. And most of those athletes are scholarshiped. And so it's a constant battle to raise money. I thought, what better way to do a premiere party and a book release signing than to contribute the profits from that to the scholarship fund. And it worked out great. We had over 800 people show up to a book signing, which is, for an unknown author, is almost unheard of. And then we raised over $20,000, and we're actually still counting. So we're hoping the number is going to hit between 25 and 30,000. So it was an incredibly successful event. We got a lot of people into the Aquatic Center from town that had never been there before, and of course were shocked at what a wonderful place it was. And that was part of the goal too. So it was pretty much a slam dunk, home run, whatever you want to call it. It was a good evening for the Aquatic Center.
Did that the amount that you collected exceed your expectations?
Yes, it did. Our goal was to hit 20,000, and we thought that was a pretty long stretch. We were. I mean, that would have been kind of the ultimate, and we definitely exceeded that. So it was high fives all around the pool deck Friday night.
Well, Lucky, I know it might be a little cliche to say this, but if we were to look in the dictionary for jack of all trades, I think they might find your photograph there. I mean, to run down the list of things you do, you're a dermatologist in Orlando. As you said, you're a competitive swimmer. You're an actor, a director, a yo-yo collector. I mean, I don't think we have enough time to go into all the detail of all these, but I wonder how you've been able to have varying degrees of success being able to do all of these things so well.
Well, I don't watch much TV. So that frees up a lot of time to do other things. I like doing different things, and I'm a pretty hard worker at stuff. So I try to do things that interest me, and there is a lot of overlap in some of this stuff, believe it or not. And you can segue from one thing into to another. The yo-yos have been nice, but when you get on some press about the yo-yos, and they start talking about the open water swims, and then that gets some publicity for that, and then so on and so forth. So it's nice to have multiple things that people are interested in that keep you in front of the media. So it all helps, especially now, hopefully with the book, because I have these other things going for me. I'll be able to get a little bit more recognition for the book.
It sounds like one of your hobbies, feeds all of your hobbies kind of feed each other in terms of how well they do.
Yeah, they really do, and I think if there are stories or articles written about me, it's more about the eclectic nature of all of my activities. It's just I'm not a one pony show here. There's a lot of different things going on, but that's what excites you, and when you excites me anyway. When you're looking for getting up in the morning and what you're going to do, it's nice each day. It's not exactly the same thing. Well, today I'm doing this, next day I'm doing that, and I had a tremendous amount of support from a lot of different people when I did the book signing. We actually had yo-yo players come. We had certainly a lot of my patients that were there. We had Special Olympians that were there. We have a lot of athletes that do the Lucky's Lake Swim, which were there, and then of course a lot of people from the Aquatic Center. So it really touched a lot of different groups, and that's nice.
Now we mentioned The Immune is your second book. Your first book was a kind of a history of yo-yos and kind of like an almanac of the yo-yo, which springboards into one of the 2 Guinness records that you have for the largest yo-yo collection in the world. Exactly how many do you own?
Well, I have over 5,000 different yo-yos. I think the record's a little bit under that, but I've gotten more since the record was published again this year. I probably have in the order of 10,000 yo-yos, but a lot of them are duplicates. So I do have the largest collection in the world. But what I'm probably better known for, at least amongst the yo-yo world, if you will, is that I wrote the book. It's called Lucky's Collector's Guide to 20th Century Yo-Yos, and that's a kind of a compilation of the history of the yo-yo and collectible American yo-yos over the years. And that book is actually in the Smithsonian. So I guess I have a little bit of a credibility of the writer before the Immune was published. But that's a little bit more of a niche market book as opposed to the Immune, which is a good general read for everybody.
And then I just got to talk about this other Guinness record you have. I can't remember how long it is, but you swam a particular length with your foot in your mouth. Now, first of all, tell us how long the swim was, and then how on earth you came up with the idea to do that.
Okay, well, this takes me back a few years. Brent Rudemiller may remember this because he was around Eastern at the time. I think he had graduated, but my senior year, as kind of a publicity stunt for the swim team, as everybody that's a swimmer out there watching knows, swimmers get absolutely no publicity at all. And so we decided to do a little stunt swim. I had sent out a newsletter the summer before where I'd taken a picture with me just holding my foot in my mouth, and I jokingly said I set a world record swimming across the pool. And a couple of guys thought I was serious. And then we started talking and said, well, we should do this. You should really do this for a longer distance and see if you can set a world record. And so I decided on a half a mile, and I actually trained for it. We worked out 3 mornings a week when we did doubles, but 2 mornings a week were off. So on the 2 mornings a week that I was off, I would go in and swim with a high school team, and I would practice swimming with my foot in my mouth. And I asked our coach, Dan Lichty was the coach. This was at Eastern Kentucky University back in this was probably 1979. I asked the coach many months in advance, hey, on February 12th, can I come in and set a world record swimming with my foot in my mouth? And he was used to me coming up with crazy ideas. Sure, Meisenheimer, get out of here, get out of my office. Sure, do it then. And so we didn't tell him until the day of the swim, and we had put up announcements all over campus, and it actually got in the newspaper too. Well, we filled the stands, and we never fill the stands for a swimming meet. That just doesn't happen. So, and then it got out on the Associated Press. It actually wasn't a Guinness World Record. It got in Ripley's Believe It or Not. It is a Record Holder Republic record, which is another world record group that certifies world record stunts. Guinness doesn't certify stunts, but this Record Holder Republic does. So it's a Record Holder Republic world record. It was in Ripley's Believe It or Not, hit the Associated Press. Paul Harvey talked about it on his news radio show. And it made the front page of the local paper. And I can tell you, we've had swimmers that were national champions from Richmond that they didn't even get on the front page of the sports section. But you know, you do something crazy like that, and you get the publicity. So it was real nice, and I learned a lot of valuable lessons from that too. Some which I applied to last Friday. So it was fun. And I will tell you this, I do have one other world record I don't think Brent is aware of. I just, a few months ago, I set the world record for ear wiggling. It is now 153 ear wiggles in 1 minute. So that's to add to my eclectic nature. I now hold the ear wiggling world record.
Well, just like you practicing for setting a record for putting your foot in your mouth, I'd love to see the practicing for most ear wiggles in a minute. It have to be some pretty good training. For it.
That was pretty simple. Now that's something that apparently is very natural. I don't know if you can pick it up on the camera, but it just kind of goes like this. There you go. And it looks easy, but you do that 153 times. It's just like a swimming race. Near the end, your ears feel like lead.
So you have a little tiny piano falling on your ears.
That is exactly right. The piano fell on my earlobe.
Well, Lucky, before we let you go, what's your next endeavor? You got anything planned?
Yeah, we're actually getting ready to film a pilot film called The Zombie Cause, and we're actually at this event we had on Friday. We had a sign-up sheet for zombie extras, and we got we got about 200 people signing up saying they wanted to be a zombie extra for this show. So that's probably late this summer. The script for the pilot's been written. We're getting it storyboarded right now, so we'll see where that goes. I would like to put in one plug for Lucky's Lake Swim. I know that there's a lot of swimmers out there that come through Orlando. We do have a swim at my house every day, Monday through Saturday. On Monday through Friday, we swim at 6:30. Saturdays, we swim at 7:45. There's no charge. It's a 1 kilometer swim, but you can swim further if you want. And we love having people come out, and we typically run around 150, 160 people on a Saturday and 20 to 30 people on a weekday, and we have them come from all over the world. So if you're a swimmer, you are always welcome at Lucky's house early in the morning for a lake swim, and I'd love to see everybody come out and join us.
Well, that's got to be a morning swim show first. I don't think we've ever had people inviting them to their personal lake to do a daily swim. I'm sure that's going to probably get a couple people flying in from all over the world just to see what it's like to swim in Lucky's Lake.
Well, we've had a lot of folks come. Mitzi Kramer, Thai now. Mitzi was Olympic bronze medalist. She just swam this Friday. It took she's local here, and it's taken me 2 years to convince her to come out because she was afraid, but she did it and had a good time, and I think she'll come back and swim again now. Once you get them in the water and get you swimming, it's different than pool swimming, and it's a lot of fun. So, and with the triathlons being so big, I can't tell you how many thousands of people have come out and done this over the years. It's turned into a real kind of cult following here locally. So, but I always love it when people come from other countries and other states, and they just heard about it word of mouth, and makes you feel great.
I'm sure it does. One quick question, where can people get a copy of The Immune?
Well, if you go to theimmune.com and order off of my website, all the profits can still go to the scholarship fund at the Aquatic Center, so you're helping swimmers, and of course I would encourage people to do that. But you can buy it online on any of the online booksellers, Amazon obviously being the biggest, but any online bookseller has it. So you can get it by just you probably have to type in Doc Lucky and The Immune. If you type in The Immune, it gives you about 18 different, 50 different books on the immune system. So you need to type in The Immune by Doc Lucky or Doc Lucky Meisenheimer.
All right, a great book for a great cause. Lucky Meisenheimer, thanks for joining us on the Morning Swim Show.
Well, thanks for having me. I really enjoyed it.
All right, that's Dr. John Lucky Meisenheimer. Very entertaining interview. Thanks for that. That's the Morning Swim Show for today. We'll see you tomorrow.